Buongiorno a tutti, benvenuti al consueto Daily Media Brief. Vi do come al solito un breve accenno di recap della giornata di ieri e di oggi per poi lasciare la parola a Mark. Oggi è prevista l'assegnazione di 7 medaglie d'oro, verranno disputate 10 discipline e coinvolte 11 venue di gara. Per le competizioni di ieri sono stati venduti 55.000 biglietti, l'Italia ha festeggiato il bronzo nel Big Air Freestyle di Flora Tabanelli, mentre a Milano Speed Skating Arena Jordan Stolz, l'americano, ha segnato il nuovo record olimpico sui 500 metri di pattinaggio di velocità. Oggi il presidente Malagò, il presidente della Fondazione Milano Cortina, sarà a Milano, mentre Andrea Varnier, il nostro amministratore delegato, sarà in mattinata a Livigno per poi raggiungere di nuovo Milano. Mark, I leave you the floor.
Grazie, thank you, Luca. Happy Chinese New Year to everybody, by the way. And on that note, let me give you a Chinese digital figures, linked to their New Year campaign, in fact. 750 million engagements in China, which is close to their level for the Games when they hosted the Games 4 years ago, so doing very well. In Italy, Federica Brignoni's gold. Rai 2 Due got 4.55 million viewers, the best since Turin. And Norway, I like this one. Norway's cross-country, NRK1, 93.1% share of viewers. That's the highest for winter or summer Olympic Games viewing, 93.1% of the share of. So virtually anyone who's watching television was watching that. I wonder what the 6.9% were watching. Anyway, today I have with me, we have two athletes. We have Kaveh Maghrabi, who is Director of IOC Athletes Department, and I have, thank you very much for joining us today, Clara Rosier, who is a member of the French women's ice hockey team and a member of French Alps Athletes Commission, Alpes 30, and we have Sarah Conti, who's an Italian figure skater. So without further ado, let me quickly frame the conversation with Kaveh. Kaveh, you want to make some opening remarks, and then we'll have a little chat with the athletes. And then, of course, as ever, we will take any questions you have about absolutely anything games related. Okay, Kaveh.
Thank you, Mark. Good morning.
Perfect.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Mark. I would just touch on a few points that we have been doing here to help enhance the athlete experience. And I think with both Sarah and Clara being here, I think there is no one better that they can speak about their experience firsthand, and also especially field of play and the opening ceremony. But as you may know, our team and the IOC is present in all 6 clusters to make sure that we enhance and provide the same experience to all athletes across the 6 different clusters. This is done also together with all our sponsors and top partners who have been doing an incredible job in providing a very unique experience to athletes. I'm really happy to report to you that in addition to the Samsung phones that all athletes have received, we have also over 2,100 athletes that they have benefited from Athletes, one of the programs that the sponsors and the top partners are providing in the village. Just to give you a few examples, you know that since Paris we have the Mind Zone with Powerade. It has been hugely successful both in Paris and also here across the 6 different clusters. We have a special program with Airbnb to help athletes to unwind and basically celebrate their achievements here after the Milano Cortina Games, where they get a credit from Airbnb to go and benefit from that. And then we also have, as you have seen, the athlete moment with TCL and OBS. So I'm sure you have seen some of those incredible images that athletes, after their performances, they have been able to connect with their friends and family back home. So these are some of the examples of the different programs we have to really help and enhance that athlete experience and make sure the games are very, very unique. Also on social media, I know you like numbers. So athletes themselves, they have generated over 1.3 billion social media engagement. That is about 500,000 per athlete in average. We think that is super interesting, and we are very proud that athletes are super keen to share their experience themselves. Athletes together, collectively, they have over 920 million followers. And you will be interested to know that Jutta Leerdam, the Dutch skater, she has alone generated over 100 million engagement on social media. And the most appealing content from the athletes has been the behind the scene. And again, we are very proud of this because it's the change in our guidelines and the regulations that we made since Paris, which enable athletes to share their experiences firsthand. And we are really happy to see that is working, and athletes are very happy to share their experience themselves. So, Mark, maybe I stop here and over back to you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, I'm going to kick off by just quickly asking Clara a question. So, give us an idea of what it's like in the Olympic Village, and also maybe what things you would take with you for the Games in 2030. What would you like to see? I'm hoping you'll be there, by the way.
I hope to. It has been like an amazing experience. Like, it was our first time, so to be in the village, to get to meet all the other athletes, to get to meet the legend of hockey, that has been awesome. To be able to share things with other people, and I have a sport team, but the Olympic, it's also something else. And now we feel that we have a really big team with the country, Team France. So that was really amazing and special to live. And the atmosphere at the village is really good. We have good condition there, a lot of chill space to be and share moments with people, watch the other competition. So that's something that was really nice.
And any lessons for 2030?
I think just keep the same atmosphere. Also, the volunteers has been so good, and there was a lot from Paris, so that was also nice from us. And yet, I think just the atmosphere and the quality of the service we got.
Super. Okay. Luca, do you want to?
Sì, grazie Marco.
Yeah.
Sara, senti, io parto da te, ovviamente facendoti le congratulazioni per la medaglia di bronzo. Ha un sapore particolare vincerla in Italia? Tu sei oltretutto lombarda, quindi anche nella tua regione d'origine, cioè aggiunge poi un qualcosa effettivamente alle emozioni che immagino siano già gigantesche.
Sicuramente non avendo tante opportunità di fare gare in Italia, averlo condiviso davanti a amici, familiari ha avuto un altro sapore. Nel momento in cui magari la stanchezza del programma iniziava a farsi sentire, avevamo veramente il pubblico che ci dava l'energia nelle gambe, quindi sicuramente il pubblico di casa è stato quello che ci ha fatto vivere a pieno anche questa medaglia.
Mi sposto anch'io sul villaggio, ma poi lasciamo lo spazio alle domande. Effettivamente è un luogo unico che rende non paragonabile a nessun altro grande evento, no? La presenza del villaggio olimpico nell'esperienza dei giochi. Una comunità di atleti che si ritrovano insieme. Che cos'è che lo rende effettivamente così particolare, così diverso da qualsiasi altra esperienza?
Allora, per me è la prima Olimpiade, quindi non sapevo assolutamente che cosa aspettarmi da questo villaggio olimpico. I primi giorni mi sentivo veramente una bambina in un parco giochi, perché secondo me finché non ci entri non ti rendi conto di quanto è unico, quanto è speciale, quante cose si possono fare dentro, giochi, sale in cui ti puoi rilassare, quindi è veramente, penso di non averlo ancora vissuto tutto a pieno, adesso che sono finite le nostre gare magari sperimenterò, andrò un po' in giro nel villaggio, però non è assolutamente paragonabile a nessuna gara anche di altissimo livello. e a me la cosa che più mi piace di tutte è la condivisione, da italiana, soprattutto poi momenti dei pasti in cui ti siedi a tavola e ti vivi il pasto, non mangio e me ne vado, con tutti gli atleti. È raro che sia con gli atleti delle mie discipline, proprio perché mi piace condividere questa cosa con tutti gli altri, quindi non vedevo l'ora di condividere, soprattutto con poi short track e pista lunga che li conosco bene, siamo molto legati, non vedevo l'ora di vivere questa cosa.
Grazie. Mark.
Thank you very much. Okay, let's take some questions. As ever, we answer anything at all, but you have some athletes and you have director of athletes here as well. So if we want to start with some questions, or any questions, there seems to be... Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, gentleman here in the middle. Yeah, gentleman in the middle here, and then... Thank you.
Hi, Oliver Moody from DW. So Israel competed in the men's bobsled for the first time last night, and a Swiss commentator on a Swiss broadcaster spent pretty much the entire run talking about comments that one of the athletes, Adam Edelman, has made in support of Israel's military action in Gaza. He also described what's happened in Gaza as a genocide and referred to a UN report in justifying that. And finally, he pointed out that, or he suggested that Russian athletes who have publicly supported their country's military action have been banned from these games, which seemed to suggest that there is, in his mind, a disparity in how athletes from different countries are being treated. So does the IOC have any comment to make on either this snippet of commentary generally or on what seemed to be an accusation of double standards?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not... I would remind everyone involved, however tangentially, in the Olympic Games of the values and the charter and the idea of us trying to bring people together despite what's happening in the rest of the world. But in terms of specific comments by a commentator on one specific broadcast, I think that's a matter that you need to refer and ask questions to the broadcaster. That's not a question for us at this stage. Yeah, another question. Yeah, Reuters there, and then we'll...
Carlos Grumman from Reuters. Is the IOC looking at all into this, these claims of ambush marketing by a Dutch speed skater who, after her competition, showed a different type of brand of clothing than the one that is officially the clothing line of the Dutch skating team? Thank you.
I'm not actually aware of that one in particular. We do actually have Anne-Sophie Voumar, who's head of director of TMS here tomorrow, so we can go into that one in more detail. But as it's, I don't know the story, but as it's an allegation of ambush marketing against the Dutch NOC, it's probably a question for them. But you know, we try to give the athletes as many chances to express themselves in the way that they want to. But during the games, we have to, for reasons that we want to bring money to the Olympic movement that we can redistribute, we have to keep pretty strict rules. But I think Anne-Sophie probably better to answer that one tomorrow. Yeah, gentleman here.
Yannick Schneider, ZDF TV. To Mr. Adams, 2 questions about the doping case about Rebecca Passler. First, in general, the appeal court of Italy's National Anti-Doping Agency has ruled that Passler can now compete in the Olympics after she quickly provided information that she ate from the same Nutella glass and the same spoon than her mother that has cancer. However, there could still be appeals later on. What is the IOC's assessment in general of the case? That's the first one. And the second one would be about dry blood spots. In general, the WADA decided against allowing dry blood spots, short DBS, to be frozen and retested in a later date. In the Passler case, experts say it would have been very helpful. The DBS could have been analyzed and compared with the urine sample, for example, and there would have been evidence for or against doping from Ms. Passler. Now it may be that lawyers and courts will decide, so will expensive lawyers rather than anti-doping authorities soon be deciding who's banned and how?
Yeah, good question. I think it's probably best directed to WADA. As you know, they're independent from us, and they're in charge of the whole anti-doping process. And that's actually one of the reasons why, as the Games organisers, we gave that responsibility to WADA and the ITA. So I think your questions, particularly about blood spot, I'm certainly not an expert, and those people are. So they will give you a much, much better explanation. As for the specific case, again, it's an active case. I understand it's not finished yet. It could carry on. So again, it's a question for WADA. Yeah, you can ask again, but I'll probably give you a similar answer.
I still try. In general, for the IOC, when there's a prominent doping case and then there's a lot of articles stating a reason with Nutella class and stuff like that. It happened in the past, not in the IOC, but in tennis, for example. Is this a good thing to cause, like, because people raise eyebrows when it comes to this kind of explanations, that if you are not so much into anti-doping is maybe not explainable in a way for a normal person?
Yeah, I mean, I think, again, I'm not going to answer questions on behalf of WADA or on behalf of anybody, but I think everyone is entitled to a fair hearing. And sometimes there are some very good explanations for cases. I don't know about this one in particular. It's not one we've been involved in because we try to keep the whole anti-doping thing separate from the IOC. Obviously, we want people to try to concentrate on sport. That's what we're here for. Yeah, gentleman, I think from Norway over there.
Johannes Knut, Süddeutsche Zeitung, Germany. The colleague is up next. FAZ is up next, probably. Probably a question for Luca. There have been reports about 2 fans from Greenland, I think, who held up a flag in the stands of the hockey arena, and then they were asked politely to take it down due to safety reasons. And also, I think there are guidelines in the IOC. There are IOC guidelines that encourage fans to bring flags only from countries who are participating in the games, countries or territories. Now, there have been reports also about Russian flags in the stands. I'm not sure if they were taken down as well. Maybe you could just explain how LOC officials are encouraged to enforce these guidelines, or what is their strategy in that regard? And maybe also a question, if I may, to Clara. There have been reports, I mean, as from an athlete's point of view, French Alps preparation have been married in some kind of personal debates about leadership. Are athletes worried in any way that this is affecting the preparations, or from your perspective, is everything going as smoothly as you could wish for? Thank you.
Parto io. Regole molto, molto precise che ovviamente condividiamo insieme ai colleghi del CIO, sono peraltro espresse anche sui biglietti, e nella fase di acquisto dei biglietti stessi sono chiarite quelle che sono le regole. Gli accessi ai controlli vengono fatti in maniera scrupolosa, e il personale all'interno delle venue competitive interviene nel momento in cui vengono evidenziate dei breach alla regola. Quindi assolutamente l'attenzione è massima. Quando qualcosa scappa vengono immediatamente posto rimedio, e la sensibilizzazione che facciamo nei confronti dello staff che opera all'interno delle venue è massima.
Yeah, I should just add on that approved flags, regional flags, we've had Scottish flags, we've had other flags, we have US state flags. I think we just try to have a sensible approach to these things, because very often an overreaction can be actually worse than the issue in the first place. So we try to have a sensible approach. But as I say, approved kind of regional flags have been flown in the past. Cloud, do you want to say a quick word about Alpes 20?
I don't remember exactly what was the question, but like it didn't really bother me. Like I was focusing in this Olympics. It was our first one. It was a big thing. We needed to be prepared, and like I'm happy to be part of the athlete committee for the next Olympic, and it was a great experience for me to be here, learn how the Olympic works, and then now I can have like a bigger voice in this committee, and yeah, it was good to be here to get the experience.
Let's do FRZ, then AP, and then we'll do Philip Barker there.
Thanks, Mark. Christoph Becker, Frankfurter Allgemeine Zeitung. A question to Mark or Luca, I don't know who wants to answer, who can answer. There's a report in Corriere della Sera today that says that there are preparations starting for a potential visit by the President of the United States in case the US hockey team, men's hockey team, makes the final on Sunday. Is that report correct? And is the prefecture and the Questura preparing for such a visit?
I think you probably already know what I'm going to say. You wouldn't expect me to comment on the movements of heads of state, and I'm not going to disappoint you because I'm not going to. If you have a question on that one, I think you probably have to pose it to the White House, but certainly at this stage we won't comment on the movements of any head of state. Yeah, let's go to AP there, and then Philip, and then we'll come across here to the side.
Thank you, Mark Graham, if I can come back later to you, Mark, with a question, but I've got an athlete question first. Just on social media and engagement, just be interesting to hear from Sarah and Clara just what the balance is between, you know, respectful, positive engagement that you get and the more kind of aggressive, you know, abusive stuff that sadly is just inevitable part of major sports events. And Kaveh, we know that, you know, the IOC and sports bodies have got good AI systems in place to intercept this and protect athletes, but the flaw in the system is that the social media platforms have little or no interest in policing and moderating because it seems that hate and abuse is a good business model for them. They quite like that. Are relations with the social media platforms getting better? Are you having more progress with them in trying to police their platforms and protect the athletes?
Sarah, do you want to maybe say a few words, and then Clara? Yeah. And I don't know if Kaveh would like to add a little bit too. Yeah. So Sarah first.
Sì, sicuramente c'è stato un aumento di tutto quello che è la parte dei social. Inevitabilmente cerchiamo sempre di condividere quello che possiamo dall'inizio, quindi abbiamo notato che ovviamente la condivisione del villaggio piuttosto che delle giornate tipo degli atleti aiuta tantissimo a crescere sotto questo punto di vista. Per quanto riguarda noi nella nostra disciplina c'è stato un immenso supporto, soprattutto nei commenti. Abbiamo visto sicuramente qualcosa di non bello, quella parte purtroppo c'è sempre, le critiche ci saranno sempre. Ho visto qualche giorno fa l'intervista di Francesca Lollobrigida dove hanno attaccato tantissimo appunto lei e il figlio, quindi le cose negative ci sono sempre purtroppo, però devo dire che per quanto riguarda noi in questo caso le cose, i commenti positivi, l'appoggio di tutta l'Italia e dei fan è molto più grande.
Like for me, it has been quite good on social media. Like we had huge visibility. It was the first time we were there, and like it has been really nice. We got a lot of positive message. Well, I mean, there was no expectation on us to get a medal or anything, so we fought good, and we mostly got like positive feedbacks. And like, of course, there is all the time some people with negative things to do, but it didn't really impact us because, again, no expectation on us. So, but I know that it has been hard for some other athletes who were supposed to get some medals, and yeah, it's just sad that some people just throw their bad things on social media behind their screen. Like, they don't know how it is to be an athlete and the pressure you get to compete at the Olympics, so like that's sad. But overall for us, it was just really big screen for us, and that was also really nice to get some visibility, especially in France.
Thank you, Clara. Kaveh.
Thank you, Mark. Thank you for the question. I think the first point is actually I mean, you hear it directly from Clara and Sarah. The vast majority of the engagement is really supportive and is positive. And it's thanks to the games that also athletes from all over the world, some of them that might not be really known outside their own sports, they truly get a global platform, and they really increase their social media followers, which believe and we know that it will help them also throughout their career after for even sponsorship and so on. So I think it's very important to focus on that part that is very, very positive, that we are able to literally put any athletes on the global stage and showcase their performances. At the same time, you're absolutely right. Sadly, it is part of the social media. We all see it and hear it. So to come to your specific question, yes, we are working very, very hard with all the platforms to make sure that when there are abuses, and there is an AI system that, as you referred to since Paris, that is taking down the abusive comments, there is unfortunately the balance between what we would deem inappropriate versus something that the social media platforms themselves can actually take down because of the different regulations within the platforms and countries. But the last thing I also want to highlight is that every time that we notice a case, regardless of if the social media platform cannot take the comment down, our safeguarding team that is exactly trained for this, they always reach out to the NOCs and to the athletes to make sure that that athlete gets the appropriate support from IOC as well as we know that in all these cases, the teams, of course, are also very supportive, and the special people that are trained for these kind of cases within the National Federation and NOCs, they provide support. So, but we always actively engage to make sure if there is anything we can provide as IOC to support the athletes, we do that. Thank you.
Okay, Philip Barker there, and then we'll come across. Yeah, we have a few others.
Morning. This is a question probably for Kaveh, actually. You'll have seen what's happening in Tehran at the moment, and indeed demonstrations here in Milan. I witnessed this the other week. I just wonder whether you could give me an update. I know the IOC received representations over the athletes who were being threatened in Tehran with death and so forth. And I wonder also, now that Soraya is an IOC member and a member of the Athletes Commission, have you been able to get her to be involved to intercede and see whether she can use her influence to ameliorate the situation? Thank you.
I'm happy to answer. I think that's the beautiful thing about the Olympic movement, that we are truly a global movement and we have representatives from all over the world. And that's what is probably making us one of the differentiation factors with any other movement, that we are really global. I think you know, I'm a proud Iranian myself, and of course have really proudly represented Iran at the Olympic Games. When it comes to supporting athletes globally, sadly, there are many things happening around the world that is maybe is different than what you would want this to be, but of course we are always there to support athletes no matter what the challenges are. And in case of Soraya, she will of course be an active voice within the movement. She has had an incredible career, and of course she will be helping us to support athletes across the world.
In a specific case, though, is she actually making representations, because there were athletes who were being threatened in much the same way that they were in Belarus a couple of years ago, and the IOC took a stance there, didn't they?
Every time there is a specific case, we work with the National Olympic Committee and the sports movement within the territory. So in this case, if you are referring to Iran, we always work with our partners and stakeholders within the country to address the issues. And of course, that's part of our role as well. And we have been many times very, very successful. But also, you know, that is the common practice of the IOC. We do this with quiet diplomacy rather than making it in the public domain.
Thank you. Okay, let's go over this side. So, gentleman here, Reuters at the back, I think. And then, yeah.
Hi, this is Hiroki Tora from Asahi Shimbun, a Japanese newspapers. This question is for the athletes, Clara and Sarah. So, about the Mind Zone, have you had a chance to experience that space? And if so, can you share some of your thoughts? And if not, how do you think that space will protect the athletes' mental health? Thank you.
Clara, do you want to?
Yeah, sure. Well, actually, I was there yesterday. I sent some postal card to my family because that was possible to do. And I think it was like a really good place to chill and like relax. There was different like things to do there in calm and peace. So I just went there to send my postal card, but like I know some of my teammates went there and like were able to like relax there, and I think that was like really good. And like everyone needs different things to relax. So like that was a good place to be.
Io purtroppo non ho ancora potuto andarci per via appunto degli allenamenti e delle gare. Era nei miei piani andarci tra oggi e domani, però ho sentito parlare tantissimo i miei amici, i miei compagni, e sono rimasti molto contenti di questo spazio, e soprattutto in un ambiente così grande, pieno di persone, sono rimasti contenti di trovare un momento di relax in cui potessero come dire, lasciare andare la mente in un contesto così grande, pieno di pressioni, quindi sicuramente è uno spazio che può aiutare tantissimo gli atleti.
Gentleman here. Oh no, okay, we'll start with Reuters because the microphone is already there. So,
Ian Axon from Reuters. Mark, I know it came up last week, but the Georgian figure skating coach, Tupbaretsa, I think, without sort of destroying her name too much. She was at the young Russians training session yesterday. I don't know if the IOC have done enough to prevent her potentially being there. And is there anything being put in place to stop her working specifically with the Russian?
She's not the principal coach, obviously, and you'll see that coaches do help out other athletes. We had it with a Russian coach helping a US athlete, actually. So, in fact, there is no particular rule to stop that. Yep, gentleman here.
Good morning, everybody. Frédéric from sportguy.com. I have two questions in French, my country. La première concerne les athlètes. Est-ce que vous avez été consulté en amont sur l'organisation du village, les parties communes, les menus avant les Jeux Olympiques? Et puis pour vous aussi, KV. Et la deuxième, pour l'organisation, est-ce que l'on peut savoir quels sont les 5 ou 6 pays qui ont généré le plus de visiteurs dans les stades de compétition? Merci.
Clara, pour commencer, et puis Sarah.
Je vais vous répondre en français, du coup. Alors, non, nous, on a eu la chance de rencontrer des athlètes françaises qui avaient déjà fait les Jeux, Alison Pinault, par exemple, et Marie Dorin. Donc, on a pu partager et essayer de savoir, en fait, ce que ça allait être, parce qu'on n'avait aucune idée. Et on n'a pas forcément eu d'autres informations de la fédération ou quoi que ce soit, vu que c'était une première. Donc c'était vraiment intéressant d'avoir un échange avec ces athlètes-là qui nous ont dit comment ça allait être. Après, on avait la version jeu été et la version jeu hiver. C'était aussi bien de comparer les deux. Et on savait du coup plus ou moins à quoi s'attendre. Et c'était, je pense, vraiment intéressant pour nous de se préparer à ça et pas d'arriver ici et d'être juste happé par tout ce qui se passe. Donc d'avoir pu partager ces moments-là, c'était vraiment intéressant et de nous préparer. Ça va, c'est beaucoup la même chose, mais c'est quand même relativement bon.
Sì, anche noi ci siamo fidati molto delle esperienze dei ragazzi che hanno vissuto più di un'Olimpiade, appunto per noi essendo la prima non sapevamo cosa aspettarci, però sicuramente ci hanno dato un feedback positivo e ci hanno dato un feedback realistico, quindi effettivamente quando siamo entrati poi al villaggio, come dicevo prima, è tutto ingrandito, però era esattamente quello che ci avevano raccontato i ragazzi.
Per quanto riguarda invece... Ah, scusami.
No. Maybe just to add to that, I think, as you know, the preparation for the games takes several years. So we have athlete representative within the coordination commission that they work with the NOC representative and advocate for the different needs of the athletes. So in fact, yes, the athletes are heavily involved even in the choosing of the menu and what athletes need. We are also very fortunate and privileged to have a very good athlete commission here within the organizing committee of Milano Cortina. So Anna and her team have been very, very supportive and very helpful in making sure that athletes have a fantastic experience. And Clara will be doing that within the French Alps Athlete Commission for the French Games. So you can see that athletes are heavily involved and we are very proud of it.
Il tema dei biglietti e della regionalità, escluso ovviamente il mercato italiano, io oserei dire widespread ticketing per widespread games, nel senso che abbiamo veramente ricevuto una larghissima adesione. L'ordine esatto è Germania, Stati Uniti, Gran Bretagna, Svizzera e Olanda per i primi 5 posti. Ci tengo però a sottolineare come abbiamo da poco tagliato il traguardo del 1.300.000 biglietti venduti, quindi insomma un risultato assolutamente sia in linea con le aspettative ma che riscontra un grande successo, un grande entusiasmo.
Super. I should just correct myself to the Reuters journalist at the back. I think I said an American coach helping a Russian coach helping an American. It was the other way around, in fact. So apologies for that. I misspoke slightly. Okay. Yeah, Graham.
Hi. Returning to an old subject, but it keeps bringing itself back to the fore. I mean, there's 3 foundations of organizing the LA Olympics: the chair of the organizing committee, the mayor of the city, and the governor of the state. When one of those 3 says that one of the others should go, how can you ignore that? I mean, what is going to be the tipping point for the IOC to elevate its engagement in this issue?
Yeah, I mean, I'll give you, I guess, a kind of similar response to earlier in the week, and this is obviously a matter for the board of LA28 still at this stage. As you know, an independent law firm looked into it, and it's up to the board to draw their own conclusions. I understand there are many conversations happening at this moment, but I will not make any further comment. Let's say that. Yeah, question from the mountains we have.
2 from the mountains. The first from Pian Huang from National Public Radio, who asks which events and venues have been the most well attended so far. That might be one for Luca. And also from Rob at gamesbids.com to Carve, who says there seems to be less NOC hospitality houses for athletes than at previous games. Can you confirm if this is true?
Il dettaglio preciso non ce l'ho, quello che vi posso confermare è che siamo oltre l'88% di occupazione media di tutte le venue competitive in Regione Lombardia, siamo a dei risultati quasi di sold out su molte delle venue milanesi, dei risultati ottimi arrivano anche da Antols, Anterselva con il biathlon, la biathlon arena sostanzialmente full in tutte le competizioni, quindi rinnovo il principio della soddisfazione massima. Il dettaglio delle percentuali, se ci contatta, ovviamente lo condividiamo senza nessun tipo di problema.
Maybe on the NOC hospitality houses, I personally don't have that figures, but I'm sure we can get that for you. Obviously, with the games widespread, and the NOCs, I can only imagine they have also made decisions of where their teams are and where the hospitality houses should be. But then what we have done and what I can say is that that's why we also ourselves as the IOC presence in all 6 villages to make sure athletes have a fantastic experience and equal opportunity to benefit from the different programs. And you probably know there is also what we call the city celebration or live site celebrations, which are run by the local communities, again, to make sure athletes have that opportunity to enjoy the games and celebrate their achievements.
Okay, I think that's it. As I say, tomorrow we're going to be back, and Sophie Vima is here to talk about TMS and marketing. So have your questions for that. And thank you very much. Happy Chinese New Year, and see you tomorrow. Thank you very much to our guests as well. Thank you.